Good morning, Marmaduke. Good morning, Marmaduke. That's what I've been saying to myself as I went round the co-op. I was invisible in the Aberfeldy co-op this morning. Obviously I've been in my bread run. I couldn't manage last week due to the road closures. But so I rather than buy that crap bread, I refrained from taking any bread. So I'm looking forward to my fresh stock. But I was in the Aberfeldy co-op anticipating some trolley bashers, but no one seemed to be bowling with trolleys this morning. I think trolleys are a thing of the past now. People can't afford to fill it. So I see them a lot doing what I do. Just walk around without a basket or trolley, and I got lard. I've had this, well, I don't know what it was, but I've gone off, well, I haven't gone off rice or pasta, but I've decided that I mix it up. But I decided to take out my little gas stove and put it on the shelving outside my house. I don't like the smell of cooking chips inside the house at all. I don't like it. So I'm going to put my little gas stove and set up on top of the bunker, and I'm going to get some new potatoes, and they're a good variety for making chips with at least, and I'm going to have that with gammon steak for the change, pineapple rings and tomato for tea. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while, so I got a good deal in the co-op though. I actually got 8 gammon steaks for £1 each, which I thought wasn't too bad. I mean, if you went into for luncheon anywhere nowadays, that would cost you about £11.95 for gammon steak and chips and a silly little bit of side salad, you know, that rocket stuff that they seem to put in every single plate. It's not even got vinaigrette on it. It's just there for garnish, not even edible. So that's what I'm going to have decided for the next 4 nights. Gammon steak, chips and tomato and pineapple. But I was fairly invisible in the co-op. I was muttering away to myself about the tomatoes having no taste, but there was a gentleman there quite close by, but he completely ignored everything I was saying. I don't think he saw me. I think I was one of these mornings, despite being, well, fairly well dressed. I've got my light wool cardigan. This is a 1960s one. I like it very much. It's very stylish. And anyway, I was, what do you call it? Making my way around the store. Just I bought lard because it's only 75p. See, these savings are amazing because I never use cooking oil anyway. Certainly don't use olive oil. It's not good for this. If you are a smoker, for example, and you why don't you just spill some olive oil on the counter, or even some cooking oil, and then try and wipe it up. See how long it takes you to wipe it up, and put your finger across it when you've got the worst of it away, and you'll still find it's very greasy. Well, that's what happens to inside your stomach, down your throat and esophagus. I mean, it's sorry about the view. Actually, it's not very exciting, is it? But if you're a smoker and you're puffing away, and all the residue tobacco and ash, goes back the way, that gets stuck to that olive oil, and you can't get rid of it. I mean, the only way you'll be able to get rid of it is drink half a litre of fairy liquid in boiling water, which I don't recommend to anyone to do. Although what I do recommend every so often is to take a little tiny amount of baking soda and put it in a cup with vinegar and boiling water and some, well, I've got Himalayan salt that I use for this purpose. I use the Himalayan salt for a gargle, and most of the winter if I feel a bit throaty. I use the Himalayan salt as a well, you know, throaty just now. I could do with the Himalayan gargle just now, but Himalayan salt and a little bit of water, boiling water, and gargle away. It's very good. But if you put the salt, vinegar, and baking soda into a glass with boiling water and just drink it, that will ensure that any things that shouldn't be in your airways are quickly removed. It's a good scrub, and it goes all the way down all the inner tubes and stuff, just collecting debris. That's what I do every so often. And but anyway, I've got lard, so 75p. The reason it's so cheap is because no one, well, it's there, and in my opinion, you can't really fry anything unless you use lard or dripping. You can't possibly fry something in oil. It's just disgusting. And certainly chips and oil is just saturated with sunflower oil, greasy, horrible maize oil or something. It's just disgusting. But anyway, as I say, I was quite invisible in that Aberfeldy cooperative until I reached the checkout stands. You know, the one with the glass screens that they seem to be. Well, they were put up for COVID-19, but there seemed to be a permanent structure. Everything that seems to have come about during the lockdown seems to be permanent now, you see.
Close your door, mate.
Oh, yeah. And a gentleman next to me was wondering why I've got my car door open, but I didn't see him coming. I was too busy concentrating, yeah. But anyway, I was sitting here because the Belgian couple, there's Audi, and I was going to ask them what part of Belgium they're from, see if we can strike up a conversation in return, and just say to them, have you ever been to Bruges or Ostend, and see what their response is to that. But anyway, I got to the glass screen part of the cover, and immediately the woman was looking at me and said, yes, can I help you? Yes. I said, well, give me a second, please. I'm trying to organise here and fumbling around. And I always find with the cooperative that you always seem to get 4 pence in change. I don't know what it is, but it always seems to be 4 pence. I think they give it that 4p back as a kind of almost like a consolation coinage. They don't like 2 pences in their till for some reason, so they always seem to give you this 4p. It's never a 5 pence, it's always just 2 coppers, 2 twos or 2 twos and a 1 or something, and they always seem to give you that. In all honesty, I sometimes think it's the staff are told to bring in the piggy banks, and they have a sort of tea break in the morning, and everybody empties out all the piggy bank contents, and they collect all the 2 pences and say, right, we'll give them to the customers when they come in, and I'm sure that's the case. But there's not much happening here just now. What am I doing? I'm sipping coffee, and I'm going to have another. I was on the cigars for a week, but I decided to go back to the tobacco. Just it's much easier, I think. You got to smoke a whole cigar at once. You can't really stub it halfway through. And I don't like doing that. I like just a couple of puffs and then leaving it in the ashtray. I'm not really a heavy smoker as such. I do like, especially in the morning and last thing at night. I do. I really like it. And certainly with the coffee. So I've had one already. And then what we'll do, we'll make our way along to the butchery department and the shop. Chat away with the girl in there. In fact, I was going to say that when I was in the bed, I'll be back again to collect my coffee. I said, I've got a few errands to do. I'll be back shortly and pick up my coffee. And I'd eaten in the Cornish pasty. One thing not to do is try and flirt with any female when you've got a a bit of Cornish pasty stuck to your chin, it doesn't work out. And unfortunately, she was looking at me, but she didn't say anything. It wasn't until I, came across the garage forecourt and headed up to the car park that was what was she staring at? And I took my hand to my chin and found it was a lump of Cornish pasty stuck to it. And maybe she found that quite attractive. I don't know. Maybe I'll try next time. I might go in without any Cornish pasty stuck to my chin and see if she's in a chatty mood. And maybe the time after I'll go in with some Cornish pasty stuck to my chin and see if she's a bit more in the mood for a bit of a chin wag. But so what we'll do, I think what we'll do, Andy, is we'll have this coffee. We'll pop along to the thrift shop. I like to, when I'm in Aberfeldy, have a little gaze around the thrift shop. And I pick up some nice bargains, but I'm trying to not buy anything because I've got everything I need in the house. But there's always something that catches my eye, so we'll see. And then what we'll do after that is we'll fill up this guzzling machine with a good quantity of diesel today, and then we'll go to the butchery. Then we'll finish off with a cigarette in the church car park at Aberfeldy at the parish church, and then what we'll do is we'll then zoom down the road. The sun's breaking through anyway, so it should be a pleasant day. I might also pop up to the Comrie green grocers, my favourite in all Perthshire. Well, not really, it's not quite true, Andrew, because I liked the shop in Bertha. I used to go in every morning for my banana collection to go to work with, and I did enjoy that shop. It was fabulous, and you get to choose your own stuff, and well, you do in the Comrie banana shop, but I quite like being in the Comrie shop. It's so small, you can't help it bang into somebody and chat to them about something normally quite irrelevant when it comes from me. It's just not being Comrie. I don't really know what much is happening when they say to me, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about. I'm not from here. I'm from the other end of the valley. Halfway through. But it's a good day for people watching, and not get much people watching here, more hedge watching. But I like just sitting and having a gaze, and but walking around and saying hello to people just at random, hello, and sometimes they say, oh, hello, how are you doing? And other times they just look at you and say, what the fuck are you talking? Right, Andy, let's get this coffee finished. Let's get another cigarette on the go, and then let's get moving to our tasks that we have listed, please. Well, the sun's come out in Aberfeldy and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I will have to remove my outer layer, my 1960s woolen layer. I've still to go to the butcher's. I went to the thrift shop, but it was very disappointing. First time I've actually walked into the thrift shop and spent about 40 seconds in total, because there was nothing there really. I'm looking at these pleasant flower arrangements in the grounds of the Aberfeldy parish church. Absolutely fabulous. Look at these viola. Hello everyone. Yours are absolutely gorgeous. Really, really nice looking flowers, aren't they? Absolutely gorgeous. And the nasturtiums are doing really well. This is a very sunny corner, of course. And this, I'm sure, is a tagetes. I haven't seen one for a long time. I've talked about tagetes not so long ago, but this comes out a beautiful orange flower like a French marigold. And these pansies, my grandmother always grew pansies. The autumn flowering pansies and the summer ones. Her garden was, it was such a colourful place, I'm not joking you, just like this corner. And we have a nice conifer in there as well. There's 3 conifers actually. There's a rose at the back. And I notice here, this looks like the wild garden. This is very pretty indeed. These are, well obviously that's what I refer to as red campion. And these are the oxeye daisies. Not the Michaelmas ones. I've got the Michaelmas ones which are slightly larger in circumference, but these are the oxeye daisies. And not sure which this one is. Not a lot. Not really. It looks a bit of a mess, doesn't it? But you see how wildflowers create their own colour when left to their own devices. I can see some knapweed at the back there. This is knapweed. You see this here? This is knapweed. It's edible. I just make a tea out of it. The knapweed turns a dark colour after it's flowered. This is obviously clover. This is a purple-head clover. Quite a tall looking clover, isn't it? But it really is a picture to behold. So I'm just heading up to the butchery now. I've been dithering around and I've been spending a vast amount of time just staring into space. So I like this church. I've not been to this church, but this is the one I'm going to have to visit. I might come up on Sunday actually. I think I will. I think I'll. If I could. That's a problem nowadays. You used to see church beadles and that, you know, standing in the church yard. The fabulous cross. I wonder if there's any information as to any services at all on the board. No, there's not. Well, I wonder if there's any notices on this board. It just says Church of Scotland in Aberfeldy Parish Church, but it doesn't tell you when the services are. Let me see. Oh, here we are. There will be no morning worship on the 4th of June. Oh, Logie H. I might go to that one soon. It's just along the road about 12 or 15 miles. What have we got? 10:30 a.m. So it looks like there's one this Sunday coming. Yeah, I might come up to that one. Either that or I'll have to go to Logie H. I used to know a chap from Logie H. Well, him and his wife. She was a very famous Highland dancer at the Highland Games, and she went on to teach thousands of Highland dancers the skills and the arts of the dance routines. And her husband, I won't give the surname, but her husband John was a fabulous all-round athlete. He could do anything from long jumping to high jump to pole vault, triple jump. He could sprint, but he wasn't a distance runner unfortunately, but he was pretty good at over 100 metres and 200 metres, or the 220 yards as the main race was. I've run a few of those in my time. I've also ran a few relay races in my time at the Highland Games, which is always the last race of the day. And if you've competed in the half-mile heats, then you've run a mile, and then you've run a 2-mile race, the last thing you want to do is be involved in a relay race. But because your levels of fitness were so high, you were able to cover the ground at the given speed to pass the baton. But anyway, I shall not dither, otherwise this vlog will turn into a huge episode, and I don't want that. Let's go to the butchery.